Welcome, everyone. This is Joe Dager, the host of the Business 901 podcast. With me today is Alan Bustamante. Alan is the founder of Xcelerate Partners in Cincinnati, Ohio, and has been helping organizations adopt value-driven and innovative software development practices through his work as a trainer and a coach. We see that throughout the industry. Every organization is agile these days. So you kind of alluded to it there a little bit, okay, in your conversation. And how has that affected your work? Are, other parts of the organization saying, oh, we all need to have daily stand-ups? I mean, are they taking the tools and maybe not some of that real agile spirit?
Yeah, so I think the great thing about what I'm doing right now at a current client is it's more than just working with the software professionals. It's organizational change is what it is, and these opportunities don't come along very often where you get to affect change across the organization. So sales and marketing and human resources, and all those require different skill sets. Most of my background is working with the software development folks and product folks, because any agile transformation is going to require the business lines talking to the engineers. That without a doubt is critical to successful agile adoption. But then you've got, in an organizational change initiative, you've got other areas that may not even really touch engineering, but they're still interested, such as human resources. Really want to bring in a lot of those lean concepts, and so we have specialists that can come in and help those individuals out. But yeah, I think a lot of the focus is on results, right? We want to be able to see results from the changes, and I've seen this time and time again where even teams, like I would say the intangible results are they're talking more to each other, they've got very high morale. They see what other teams are doing, and they're like, hey, I want that agile stuff. I want to be more agile like these other teams. I'm hearing such great things about it. These guys are going out and celebrating together, and they're seeing the results of their work much sooner. No one wants to be on a project where, they don't see the end result until 6 months down the road, or a year, in the most likely scenario, a year down the road, and nobody knows what that's going to look like. And then it's a slow slog towards that end result. So when other teams see teams that are delivering something in a matter of, a couple to a few weeks worth of time, and then they're celebrating those successes, then that just builds within the organization. And over time, you see other areas of companies wanting to embark on the same journey, and that's where you get into things like sales and human resources and those areas. But yeah, we bring people in that can help in those areas. So yeah, but I think you really have to start with results first. More often than not, someone like myself or one of my colleagues would be brought in to work with the engineering and the product side of the house, and then that would just proliferate over time to other areas of the organization. But it's exciting to watch. I probably see that less, that where it gets into places like marketing, sales, HR, less than I would like. But it's a great thing to see when it starts to happen, when I do get those opportunities.
When I present lean, let's say, to sales and marketing, I always start with the people and say, what's the reason that you want to have lean in sales and marketing? I mean, what's the business reason? Because they always seem that, we're a lean organization, we want that, and we need to get rid of the waste in sales and marketing. But typically there isn't a good business reason to do that. Do you see the same thing when we coin that word agile, okay, to go to the other parts of the organization? Do they really recognize that they have to have a business reason, okay, to be doing it? Or how does that work?
So, yeah, I guess the one thing I would highlight is that we're in a great time of change. And every year it seems to be that you're having to be more responsive to that change. What the market is dictating. I think in the past, the changes have been slower, and the ability to meet those changes have been slower. And now the organization is having to respond to that change, and that's probably, the biggest factor I would say that I've seen in being able to get lean into other areas. The word agile to me is just part of the big thing of agile or agility is responding to change. That's why you're agile. The market dictates one thing, you have to react to it in some way. And how long does it take you to react to that? We're seeing that across the board in all types of industries where the barriers to entry have been really high, and now you have got some upstarts coming in and challenging the status quo. The example I would cite there, which is in the current industry that I'm working in with a client, the startup Square. They're impacting the payments industry, and large organizations are having to respond to that. They're making acquisitions to be able to respond to that. But internally they don't have the capability to do that, and that hits all. Internally they don't have the capability, so they go out and acquire a company to be able to address a market need. But I think the word agile to me is, I like the word. I hear it a lot, not even in reference to software development or anything. That I don't think agile is really tied to any one specific industry or business. It's a great word to describe how someone or some organization is going to respond to change. And like I said, we're in a time and place in this world where we're having to be, people and organizations are having to be very responsive because things are changing so quickly. The technologies are changing, the way and that companies talk to their customers and service their customers is changing. Yeah, I think it's a great time to be using the word agile or agility and introducing that word into other areas of the business.
I have to ask you, is it just maybe for clarification, especially for non-agile practitioners, is that what's the best way for someone to contact you and learn more about Alan?
Well, you can catch me on the web. So my company is Xcelerate Partners, but that's with an X. So it's X as in Xavier, CELERATE partners.com. Or you could go to increaseagility.com, and that would take you to my company's website. And then you can also reach me via email by my first name, Alan, ALAN, at xceleratepartners.com.
Thank you very much. I want to thank everyone for listening. This podcast will be available on the Business 901 iTunes Store and the Business 901 website. So thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Joe.